Good morning. How's the volume? Good now. We're having board members each week talk about announcements before the service begins, so feel free to come on in and change seats and such, but I'll let you know what's going on a little bit. Be sure to read your email, too. Don't forget the gallery is open after church today, all the way till December 29th. They're open till 2 o'clock. Good chance to get Christmas gifts because this time they're all wearables. Beautiful stuff. Don't forget also after church in here, after you've had your snack, a listening session will be held. The board is trying very hard to keep in touch with the congregation and make sure that the concerns are all addressed. So come on by and just talk about what's on your mind. The campus cleanup. The volunteers have scheduled another campus cleanup on December 14 at 11 o'clock. Greg can get you more details on that, but I'm sure they can use all the help we can get. RE is having a donation drive right out in the lobby and over someplace else. They've got a couple boxes, probably in the RE room, where you can donate things for homeless families, especially those with students in the Las Cruces School District. They need all sorts of things that a family can use. And don't forget Coats for Kids is our Change for Change program this month, this quarter. And I'd like to mention the truffles from Elwyn. He said, I'd like to thank all of you who helped make this December truffle sale the most profitable ever. Including the sales, the amount of money brought in from all the yummy truffles, $1,563. Thanks, Ellen. It wouldn't be bad to do that twice a year. Thank you.
Good morning. And welcome. It's wonderful to see you this morning. I would like us to just take a moment this morning to remember our beloved friend, Irene Schultz. Just a moment of silence. Amen. Our gathering song is what we sang last week, so I hope some of you will remember. The words will be up on the monitor, and it's kind of a call and response song that comes from the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. Courage, courage, my friend, you do not go alone. We will go with you, and sing your spirit home. I invite you to rise and embody your spirit. Courage, courage, my friend, you do not go alone. We will go with you, and sing your spirit home. Courage, courage, my friend, you do not go alone. We will go with you, and sing your spirit home. Thank you.
right, everybody up? Good morning, church. And welcome to the home of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Las Cruces. We welcome those of you who are in the sanctuary this morning, especially the children and those who are joining us via streaming technology. Our minister, the Reverend Rod Thompson, is not in the pulpit this morning, but he has a part to play in the service. All right? In his stead, we have the wonderful Katie Fitzgerald as the service leader. Our director of music is Catherine Massey with our church choir. And our director of religious education is Kellie Ingram. Assisting us, this morning was Elwin Nunn on video, Mike Yasko streaming, and Claire Neal Wallace on audio. All right. Our greeters today are Lisa Stevens, Lynn Pearson, and Janet Pitt. Hospitality is offered today by the Committee on Ministry and the Respectful Relations team, and I, Haney Pearson, am your service associate today. We are delighted to be with you today. If you are visiting us today, we'd like to meet you. If you are in the sanctuary, please raise a hand, and I will bring you the microphone so that everyone will hear you talk about yourself. Any visitors? Okay, we are all family here today. All right. Anyone streaming? Well, we are all family today. If you are a shy visitor but are curious about our church, please fill out a visitor's card in the lobby and you'll receive notifications of services and other things going on here at the church. We are the Unitarian Universalism has neither creed nor dogma. We are a covenant-based church, meaning that we agree to live in relationship with each other according to the Unitarian Universalist principles and our congregation's covenant of right relations. We embrace diversity in all its form as everyone is welcome. You can learn more about our church at our website, uuchurchlc.org. And please join us after the service for coffee and conversation inside or outside the religious education building just down the breezeway. This morning's chalice lighting, you gonna light the chalice? Yes. Thank you very much. This morning's chalice lighting come into this circle by a Reverend Scott Taylor, and it had a note that read, "Edits permitted." So help me, it's a quote. So I edited it a bit. Come into this circle of acceptance and care. Bring your worry and wounds, your longings and hope. With word and song, we rekindle the connection that soothes our tender hearts. With stillness and space to pause, we restore our strength for the work that must be done. The work of love, the work of waiting, the work of repair, the work of remembering that we are not alone. Let us begin.
Our opening words this morning come from Nadine McSpadden, entitled, "Still There is Hope." During our darkest moments, still, there is hope. When facing our biggest challenges, still, there is hope. When all we can do is put one foot in front of the other, still, there is hope. When we can't find the way out, still, there is hope. When all we can do to help is hold someone's hand as they cry, still, there is hope. We are the hope for ourselves and for one another. Always, there is hope.
Would you please rise in body or spirit to join me in saying of our church's affirmation of covenant, followed by singing of the doxologies in English and Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith
Good morning, church. Good morning, Kellie. It never gets old. This morning, I'll be reading Something Someday by Amanda Gorman. You are told that this is not a problem, but you're sure that something is wrong. You are told that this cannot be fixed, but you know that you can help. You are told that this is too big for you, but you've seen the tiniest things make a huge difference. You're told that this won't work, but how will you know if you never try? Sorry, okay. You are told to sit and wait, but you know people have already waited for too long. You're told that what's going on is very, very sad. But you're not just sad, you're scared and confused and angry. And maybe, just maybe, you're a little hopeful. You're told not to hope, but you keep hoping anyway. Sometimes you feel like you're all alone, but someday, somewhere, you find a friend. Someone who will hope with you, who believes in your dream, someone who will fight with you. You make a promise to each other. You say, there is a problem, but it's our problem together, so we can fix it together. This problem is big, but together, we are bigger. You make another friend and tell them it's okay to be sad. And they tell you, sometimes we'll lose, but that's all right. We'll try again. And so you do. Together, working, together, beginning, over and over and over and over, until you're no longer beginning, you're winning. Suddenly, there's something you're sure is right. Something you know that you helped fix. Something small that changed something big. Something that worked. Something that makes you feel hopeful, happy, and loved. Something that is not a dream, but the day you live in. Something that makes you smile as you tell someone else. Thank you. We don't have any children in the sanctuary this morning, but it would still be nice to hear the children's blessing.
May your heart be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart go long, lend your hands to the work of justice as you go your way in peace.
At this time, we invite calm, love, and healing into this space so that we may begin our stones and water ritual. As we prepare our minds for the ritual, we ask that you think of something you hope for and name it after you have placed your stone in the water. Life is born from water. Ocean water was the womb of life on this planet, and every womb that shelters a developing embryo is a small, enclosed ocean. Water respects its own cycle. Rain wafts from the surface of the ocean to sail with the clouds, condensing into raindrops that fall to earth, run into streams, and flow into rivers until they return to the sea. All the waters of the earth are connected. Every drop a part of a larger flow. The stones we hold represent heavy burdens to us, burdens of loss, grief, anger, sadness, confusion, and so on. One by one, everyone is welcome to release the burdens we carry by dropping the stones in the water. Shall we begin?
His knee will be healed.
Tolerance for everyone.
who will very soon be without a home.
Everyone has been so serious. I hope the amaryllis that we plant every year will bloom sometime during the holiday season.
For healthcare and nonviolence.
I will drop this last stone for all of the burdens, the sorrows, whatever, that lie too deeply buried in our hearts to mention in public. This morning's opening hymn is going to be Affirmation. All of Us Are Loved by Amanda Udis Kessler.
Each of us is welcome. No one is a stranger.
This morning's responsive reading is entitled Hope Rises by John A. Burns and Rebecca Ann Parker. I'm making it easy for you all. You have the 2-word sentences, and I have the longer ones. So you get to start. Hope rises. It rises from the heart of life, here and now, beating with joy and sorrow. Hope longs. It longs for good to be affirmed, for justice and love to prevail, for suffering to be alleviated, and for life to flourish in peace.
Hope remembers.
It remembers the dreams of those who have gone before and reaches for connections with them across the boundary of death.
Hope acts.
It acts to bless, to protest, and to repair.
As you know, this is the Advent season, and we gather here to celebrate this season of wonder and hope. It is this Advent season, it is in this Advent season that we light Advent candles to say all the things we cannot say and to express all the hope and joy we feel but cannot describe. May this second candle of Advent be the candle of hope. Let it stand for all of the ideals and the aspirations that have given light to people in ages of darkness, and even strength and courage to us and to all peoples in all times of trouble and defeat.
The choir and I invite you to sing this song with us. It's by Jason Shelton, and the words will be up on the monitor.
Now is the time for hearts to be open. No
Well, now's the time for another Flameside chat. For those who don't know me, and I think all of you do, but I'm Katie Fitzgerald, a member of the Respectful Relations team and the Sunday Service Committee. And today I'm offering a homily in two parts. And the first is to share with you a personal experience and how this book, Radical Acceptance, helped me solve it. Many of you know I love to play bridge. Well, my secret is that one reason we moved to Las Cruces was there was a center here where I could play bridge 7 days a week if I wanted to. And there I encountered a gentleman and his wife from El Paso. And I love his wife, but Dan, I can't abide, or I couldn't. And I've never had this reaction to anybody in my life. It was a visceral, oh my God, don't ask me to play with him. But yes, the director did ask me to partner with Dan. And so I'm a good doobie, so one time I said yes. Well, Dan is a big man, and that I find intimidating. And he encroaches on the card table. He takes more than his share. I like my personal space. Come on, man. And he is good, a whole lot better than me. And he's not shy about telling you when you make a mistake. And that can be humiliating, not just to make a mistake, but for somebody who tells you sarcastically, you made a mistake in front of everyone. But I've had those kinds of things happen to me before, and it's never caused this strong reaction. So, oh my word, what am I going to do about this? And I went back to the well of training, and those of you who have been educators know that every other year or so, it seems like you get another kind of training about how to deal with interpersonal relationships. Well, I went through those, and that didn't help. I went to the respectful relations training that we had, and that didn't help either because Dan didn't seem to have an issue with me. It was an interpersonal me, inside myself. That's where the problem was. So, as a last resort, short of going and seeking counseling from someone else, I went to our church library. And I found this book, Radical Acceptance by Dr. Tara Brach. And I opened it up, and the prologue, the title was, What's Wrong with Me? And I thought, maybe this is the one. Maybe this will help me through it. And sure enough, it was. This was going to, as I surveyed the chapters and the exercises, this was going to be just what I needed. So the first question, what's wrong with me? Well, physically, you don't get to be over 70 with having a lot of issues, so set that aside. The issue was, what's wrong with me in my head and my heart that I can't abide Dan? And I had to do a deep dive into me. What is it about me that has the problem with Dan? And this whole exercise took about 18 months. I mean, it really took time to go back. And we're now talking into early childhood before I finally recognized what was the source of my fear and my pain about that was causing this strong reaction to Dan. And any of you who might have experienced bullying as a child, you know that it can cause scars, and those scars can reach into your adulthood and impact your ability to deal with others in a reasonable fashion on an interpersonal basis. And that was the root cause, along with his size and his sarcasm and some of the other things. Put it all in a ball. And that was the cause of my strong reaction to Dan. So, let me step away for a moment and talk about this term, radical acceptance. The title can be off-putting. Radical, immediately when I looked at it, I'm a child of the 70s, so I'm thinking, okay, it's kind of like maybe draft card burning or radicals taking over Berkeley with the sit-ins, or even most recently, January 6th, the rioters taking over the Capitol. And that's not what it means. It's going to the word radius, the bone in your body. It's talking about bone deep, deep into your soul, your psyche, getting down that far. And when you do that, it's tough. It's painful. It's and it's usually done with the help of someone else, a counselor, a psychologist, or whatever, because it is that excruciating, and it's a process. But once I've got to the aha of where this was all predicated and the individual, the authority figure that Dan reminded me of, it was a freeing moment. There was this aha like nothing else. And it was like, okay, I get it now. I get it. Now let's talk about what radical acceptance is not. It's not resignation. It's not like, oh, that's just the way I am. I have to live with it. No, that's not what it is. And it's not defining ourselves by our limitations. Oh, well, boo-hoo, I was bullied as a child. Well, what could you expect? And it's not self-indulgence. Poor me, oh well. It's not that either. And it's not passive. Think about individuals from history like Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr. I know this term wasn't out there then, but they are good examples of radical acceptance at its best. It's going deep down to know who you are, the circumstances in which you live, and what are you going to do about it. And those two individuals did a whole lot to change their worlds. Some people stop at the recognition stage and they run away or avoid. And I did this. I had an interior dialogue. So you get it. You understand now what this whole thing about Dan is. So why don't you just keep telling the director, no, I don't want to play with Dan. No, sorry. Can't do it this week. And I did that for a number of months. It was easier to avoid than to expose myself to what? Rejection? Sarcasm? Yeah, that would be, I don't have to play there. I don't have to do that. And a lot of people do that with this whole enterprise of radical acceptance. But then, being a good you, or trying to be anyway, I decided, no, that's not who I am. This is a growth opportunity. I'm going to try to be better. I'm going to work on this. So one of the steps I took was to observe Dan when he came. He didn't always, but when he did, I observed him. And when I played against him, I tried to be as friendly as I could. And when I encountered his wife, I was friendly with her too, trying to get to know her better. And at one time, I began to notice a physical change with Dan. And I asked his wife, is he okay? I wanted to make sure he was all right. And she shared with me that he hadn't been sleeping well. And I said, are you going to do anything about it? And she said, yeah, we have an appointment with a doctor. And I followed up later and found out that, yes, he has a heart issue, and they're dealing with it with medication. Well, that was good. And after that, I noticed a slight change in his personality with me. And it was almost like he was my big brother. Oh, well, that's kind of good. So what I'm throwing out there is coming back in a positive way. So that's cool. And then just last month, the director asked me again, would you partner with Dan? And I felt comfortable enough with this whole process that I could say yes. It was a wholehearted, very, very authentic, heartfelt yes. I felt that I had worked through all of the issues. I didn't say anything to the director about this, but I wanted to play with Dan. I felt like I had graduated. This was commencement time. And so we played together. I came in early. We had a great conversation about life, liberty, and trying to drive in El Paso traffic. And we had a great day. It was wonderful. And we played great bridge. We came out on top. But that didn't make any difference. We still had a wonderful interchange, just the two of us. And I had to rush away for a meeting here. And he came out and followed me. He said, hey, Katie, we're number one. I said, yeah, for as long as it lasts. It was great. We both laughed, and I went on my way. And I felt, okay, this process worked. It worked for me in this venue. And I think it would work again when I reached, as I will, we all do. We come up against things, not just people, but events, other things that are difficult to accept. And I need to internalize the process. I'm comfortable with it now, and I can apply it in other ways. And then as I prepared for today, I was thinking about the Christmas story. And you know the major actors just like I do. Elizabeth and the angel coming to her and telling her that she was going to bear a child who would prepare everybody for the Redeemer. And then Mary, another angel coming and letting her know that she would have a child who would be the Messiah. And then there was Joseph and the shepherds, the three kings, the innkeeper, even Herod. All of those actors, in some way or another, we could apply the concepts of radical acceptance. Bone deep, they had to find within their faith a place where they had to accept a role. And that role changed for them and for those around them, and in many ways, history. For those who are of the Christian faith. It's an interesting concept. Anyway, radical acceptance. I would recommend the book to you or anything you read about it online. And there's a number of sources that have picked up and started talking about it. I find it's a study that is intriguing for spiritual growth. It's in line with our radical principles, although it's written from the point of view of the Buddhist. And it's worthwhile. I love sharing it with you today. And I, again, recommend it to you. It will be coming back to our library later on today. I promised you a second half, and the second half is all about hope. In the wintertime, there are many of us who are hoping for warmer weather. All of us hope for a peaceful world and justice for the marginalized, freedom for the oppressed, comfort for JD and his family. Hope is a theme for the second Sunday in Advent. And at this time, I'd like to share with you 3 harbingers of hope for our church. The first, it will occur today, as Carol reminded you about the listening session after our service, after our hospitality. An opportunity for folks to come and share their hearts, what's on their minds with representatives so that the board can hear. And the hopeful thing about it is we know this practice is a powerful one. We've used it last Sunday and in the past. And the board has said that they want to continue that into the new year, into the 2025. It's a good practice. It's a democratic one. It's true to our UU principles. It's a very hopeful sign, I think, for our church. The second harbinger is two efforts very similar, but kind of different. The first is the CUPS group, the Certified Unitarian Universalist Pagan Society. And don't try to say that too fast. They have finished all of the requirements for them to be officially certified. They haven't stopped meeting. They haven't stopped doing anything. But for a while, though, the officialness, the certification process kind of waned, and now it's back up and it's complete. And you know that group is very active with young families, and we're going to see them at the Yule service on December 21st because they host that. For us, it's a fun service. It's a joyful group, and it's wonderful to see how they're growing. It's wonderful, too, that they continue to be such a vibrant part of our beloved community. The other certification that I'm told is moving forward is the UUA Welcoming Congregation certification. Again, we have a process, and it's kind of a litmus test that we need to go through. We're checking the boxes, knocking them off, and I believe early in 2025, that process will be complete. And again, it's exciting. If you think about it, we're a small church in a relatively medium-sized city, but we have activities here that are reaching out to otherwise marginalized groups, and we're drawing them into us, a hopeful sign that people want to be part of a beloved, vibrant community. The third harbinger, or the third side to my triangle, is one that's close to my heart. Back in 23, there was an exchange of emails with James Caulfield, and it was all about the Opportunity 501c3s, we are one, having an opportunity to get grant money from the federal government to improve their campuses, making them more green, going from fossil fuel to electricity. We have solar power here, as you know. Anyway, we partnered with Tierra del Sol. They are very experienced with multiple federal grants. Their leader, Rose Garcia, has worked with Senator Heinrich. I think they're on speed dial. But anyway, getting the grant approved was easy. Getting the money from the federal grant has taken a little bit more time. The clerk of the works, Carlos, has been by. He's measured. And tomorrow, Rose is coming by to meet with us to see what we want to do. And I believe within the next 15 months, you will see 7 of our HVAC systems replaced with ones that are highly efficient, electric powered. You will also see gas water heaters replaced with on-demand electric. You will have the windows in the office areas will be double paned, and we will be able to reduce our energy consumption for the office. There will be increased insulation in the roof and a new membrane, and because we're putting in mini splits, we'll get rid of the ducting on top of the office area, and it will be much more beautiful. Thank you so much. All of this will make our campus greener, and in time, it will save us a great deal of money. Total package, $320,000. Our commitment is $80,000. And it's important because we've been here 7.5 years, and every summer there's been a call, either to or from Charlie, about the HVAC systems going down. With the heat during the summer, the air conditioning is vital. And we're getting to the place where the systems are not just old, they're not just ancient, they're Methuselah. And AirServe is saying to us, it's getting harder and harder for us to get parts to fix them. And I'm just hoping, hope is the word of the day, that we can keep them going until they get replaced because of their age. And wouldn't it be nice that we get to a place where HVAC failures we don't have to worry about for a long time to come? That being said, hope is the word of the day. It's a happy word for me. I hope it's a happy one for you. May it be so.
the operation and outreach of our church needs your input and your contributions. This is December, the end of our fiscal year, so we hope all of the 2024 pledges have been met or exceeded. Remember that Coach for Kids has been identified by the Social Justice Committee as our Change for Change recipient for this final quarter. You can give to them by putting your change in the basket or by writing Change for Change on the note line of your check to the church. Please give generously.
I have two sets of closing words. I think they say the same thing. First is from Charles Dickens. It is always something to know you've done the most you could. But don't leave off hoping, or it's of no use doing anything. Hope. Hope to the last. And this is an Italian proverb. Hope is the last thing ever lost.
Our closing hymn is number 146. Soon the day will arrive. Everyone, would you please rise in body or spirit? Would you please join me in reading the words for extinguishing the flame? We extinguish this flame